Picture this. You're in the middle of the grocery store, your toddler is screaming on the floor because you said no to candy, and everyone is staring at you like you're the worst parent ever. I've been there, and I used to handle it all wrong. But then I learned something that changed everything. Tantrums aren't bad behavior, they're brain overload. Once I understood what was actually happening in my child's brain during a meltdown, I discovered 5 strategies that work with their development, not against it. Number 3 literally stopped tantrums in their tracks, and I'm going to share all 5 with you right now. Before we jump in, if you're a parent dealing with those big emotional explosions, hit that like button and subscribe because we're diving into real, science-based strategies that actually calm your child down instead of making things worse. Let's get started. The first brain-friendly strategy is understanding that your child's tantrum isn't manipulation. It's a neurological storm. Here's what's actually happening. The emotional part of your child's brain, the amygdala, is fully developed and firing on all cylinders. But the logical part, the prefrontal cortex that controls reasoning and self-regulation, that won't be fully developed until they're in their mid-20s. So when your toddler has a meltdown because their banana broke in half, they're not being dramatic. Their brain literally cannot process that level of disappointment yet. They're flooded with cortisol and adrenaline, and they've lost access to their thinking brain completely. Once I understood this, I stopped taking tantrums personally. My daughter wasn't trying to embarrass me in public. Her brain was genuinely overwhelmed, and she needed my help to regulate, not my frustration. The second strategy is to stay calm yourself. And I know that sounds impossible when your child is losing it, but here's why it matters. Your child's nervous system is looking to your nervous system for cues on whether they're safe or in danger. When you yell or get visibly upset, their brain interprets that as confirmation that something is really wrong and the tantrum intensifies. But when you stay calm, take deep breaths, and lower your voice, you're sending their brain the message that everything is okay. You become their external regulator until they can calm down on their own. I started practicing this thing called co-regulation. When my son would have a meltdown, I'd sit near him, take slow, deep breaths, and speak in a calm, quiet voice. I wouldn't try to fix it or reason with him. I'd just be his calm anchor. And you know what? His tantrums started ending so much faster because my calm nervous system helped regulate his overwhelmed one. Third strategy, and this is the game changer, connect before you correct. When your child is in the middle of a tantrum, their thinking brain is offline, completely offline. That means lecturing, explaining, or trying to teach them a lesson in that moment is pointless. They literally cannot process it. What they need first is connection. I get down on my daughter's level, I might offer a hug if she wants it, and I validate what she's feeling. I'll say something like, "You're so upset right now. You really wanted that toy and it's hard when we can't have what we want." I'm not saying yes to the toy. I'm just acknowledging her feelings. And here's what happens. When she feels seen and understood, her brain starts to calm down. The stress hormones decrease and her thinking brain comes back online. That's so I can talk about what happened and what we'll do differently next time. Connection first, correction later. This approach has cut our tantrum time in half. Now pause for a second and comment below. What triggers tantrums most for your child? I want to hear what you're dealing with. Fourth strategy is teaching emotional language during calm moments, not during meltdowns. Your child's tantrums happen partly because they don't have the words to express what they're feeling. Imagine feeling intense emotions and having no way to communicate them. That's what it's like for toddlers. So during peaceful times, I started naming emotions constantly. When my son looked frustrated with a puzzle, I'd say, "Oh, you look frustrated. That puzzle is tricky." When he seemed excited, I'd say, "Wow, you seem really excited about going to the park." I read books about feelings, we played games identifying emotions on faces. And I modeled it myself by saying things like, "Mommy feels tired right now," or "I'm feeling happy because we're spending time together." Over time, my son started using these words himself. Instead of immediately melting down, he started saying, "I'm mad" or "I'm frustrated." And even though tantrums still happened, they became less frequent because he had tools to communicate before reaching that breaking point. The fifth brain-friendly strategy is offering choices and control during the lead-up to potential tantrums. Think about it from your child's perspective. They have very little control over their day. We tell them when to eat, when to sleep, when to leave the park, everything. That lack of autonomy builds frustration. So I started offering small choices throughout the day. Do you want the red cup or the blue cup? Should we read this book or that book? Do you want to put your shoes on first or your coat? These tiny choices give them a sense of control and power, which reduces the frustration that leads to tantrums. And here's a pro tip. When you need them to do something non-negotiable, offer a choice within that boundary. We're leaving the park now, but do you want to walk to the car or should I carry you? Do you want to brush your teeth before pajamas or after? You're still in charge, but they feel like they have some say, and that makes a massive difference. Here's the beautiful thing about all 5 of these strategies. They're not just tantrum management techniques. You're actually teaching your child's brain how to regulate emotions for the long term. Every time you stay calm during their storm, you're showing their brain what regulation looks like. Every time you connect before correcting, you're strengthening the neural pathways between emotional safety and problem solving. Every time you give them words for feelings, you're building their emotional intelligence. You're not just surviving tantrums. You're literally shaping how their brain will handle stress and emotions for the rest of their life. I want to be real with you for a second. These strategies don't mean tantrums magically disappear overnight. They won't. Your child is still learning and growing, and meltdowns are a normal part of development. But what changes is how you respond, and that changes everything. You'll feel more confident, less reactive, and more connected to your child even during the hard moments. And over time, as your child's brain develops and they learn these regulation skills from you, the tantrums do decrease in frequency and intensity. If this video helped shift your perspective on tantrums, please share it with another parent who's struggling right now. Drop a comment and tell me which of these 5 strategies you're going to try first, or share what's worked for you. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because we're recreating a community of parents who want to understand their kids' brains and parent in a way that actually supports development. Thank you so much for being here, and remember, those tantrums don't mean you're failing. They mean your child's brain is growing and you're the safe person they can fall apart with. That's actually a beautiful thing.